It had me for an instant. I was like, oh my God, look at that. They found a new creature. Hey, welcome back, everybody. Today, Dad's reacting to AI Slop is destroying the internet. Let's go.
AI slop is saturating the internet, and things are becoming dramatic pretty quickly. In an online world where money is made with attention, fake users spread their slop in review sections, generate fake traffic, or poison discourse. AI has supercharged this and made slop much harder to spot. Today, about half of internet traffic is bots.
I think a lot of us have already realized this quite a long time ago, that when you're interacting on the internet with these quote other accounts, that a lot of them are just bots. And I think 50% is probably a really good estimate. I've been saying that since the last election cycle, that, everybody arguing with everybody. A lot of times you're just arguing with nobody. You're arguing with someone who's just trying to manipulate you in a giant bot farm. And you're getting yourself upset and angry about it. And the other side of it is a freaking robot that's just designed to get you upset and angry. So it's important that we all understand that. And I'm going to say this a couple times during this video. I'm sure it would be great if somehow the tools that we use to go on the internet, like Google or Yahoo or whatever it is, provide us some sort of filter that would say, I don't want to see bot comments, right? Or I don't want to see things that are AI slop. Wouldn't that be the ultimate for all of us, is if we had some kind of filter button that we could use to do that? And I'm sure they could create it. Maybe it's not in their interest to create it. Maybe they want us drowning in AI slop and bots because they want to be able to control what we think and how we feel.
Low-effort short videos just engaging enough to endless, soullessly rewritten books on Amazon. AI music is invading streaming platforms. Google AI is summarizing websites instead of sending traffic to them. On YouTube, new channels.
Right, that's also a big one now. And you've seen it just happen to you in the last year or two. If you use Google, you used to be able to just get directed to websites, and then you might be angry that, oh, they're only sending me to sponsored websites. And now you don't even get websites, or you'll get the AI overview, which is going to fill up your screen and attract your attention. And then the websites or the sponsored websites will be below it, and you probably have to go to page 2 or 3 to find just the results of kind of what you're looking for. This is much different than when the internet first came out, folks. For those of you who weren't around, the internet used to be a place where you would just go to different websites, and they seemed all kind of mom and poppy, and it was a really special, nice place. And now it seems like most of us spend the majority of our internet traffic time on 3 or 4 websites. That's it. And those places have become monopolies and dominating the traffic and your attention. And that's what most of this is about. It's about human attention and how to garner it.
Publish long-form videos multiple times a week with AI-generated thumbnails, voices, and scripts. True crime, video essays, science, no space is safe. We're in the golden era of soulless slop.
Wait a second. Let's go back here a second.
No space.
Stuff like this. I remember the first time I love fishing and the ocean and ocean life. And the first time I started seeing things like this, it had me for an instant. I was like, oh my God, look at that. They found a new creature. And then you just start thinking, oh my God, you're seeing it everywhere. These bizarre, weird creatures. They look cool, but clearly fake. And we're getting saturated with it.
Is safe. We're in the golden era of soulless slop. And sadly, actual creative human work is used to train these AI models. Every Reddit comment, original YouTube video, or human drawing on DeviantArt has been sold out to the AI companies.
And this is the part that's sort of the most devious here, is that the AI slop creation machine gets all of its intelligence to do what it's doing from actual human creativity. So it's harnessing the power of the human creativity that exists, using it to create this content. And the people whose creativity went into it are not compensated in any way.
Or straight up stolen by them, without attribution or payment to the actual creators. Creative theft on a scale where it's impossible to protect against it, already putting loads of creatives' work in danger, so AI companies can get rich. While this is sad and frustrating, what's even worse is that generative AI truly has the potential to break the internet irreversibly, by making it harder and harder to tell what's true. At first,
This takes me back to what I just said before. It's going to be harder and harder to tell what's true. And we just wish there was a way to filter it. There's got to be a way, it has to be, to easily identify, especially visual content, that this is AI. Why can't Google or one of these big platforms be able to do it? And again, my answer is they probably could, but they want it to become this way, for whatever reasons.
By making it harder and harder to tell what's true. At first, AI looked great. A Kurzgesagt script starts with basic research that's turned into a script and then fact-checked in depth by 2 to 3 people. We try to confirm our info with what we deem trustworthy, ideally first-hand sources, ideally papers. Then we get 1 to 3 experts for input and critique. Fact-checking and compiling our sources alone takes around 100 hours per video. Of course, we make mistakes or oversimplify, and you can disagree with our conclusions. It's unavoidable, we're only human after all. But it is fair to say that our process is extensive, and after a decade, we know what we're doing. When AI appeared, we were very excited. A mechanical brain able to super quickly collect information. So we went to work, and it looked amazing. And then we started fact-checking. We didn't expect it to be perfect, but it was way worse than we thought.
It'll come at you and be super confident with information like, this is the way it is. And you'll be like, oh, okay, that's great. And then you'll say, well, let me just go double check it. And you'll say, no, you're wrong. Or you'll be having a conversation with it and it'll present something to you that you know is wrong. And then you'll have to engage in an argument with it to point out why it's wrong. And I've had this happen several times, especially when it first came out. I was doing this all the time. Then you can get the AI to go, oh, you're right, I'm sorry. And when you first have that encounter, you're just like, whoa, this thing was basically just telling me with 100% confidence that it knew something. And it was very convincing. And then by arguing with it and giving it some other information, it completely reversed, said, no, you're right, I'm wrong, sorry for making the mistake. But if you didn't argue with it, it would have just still told you the wrong thing from the start. And with young people relying on this to write their papers, do their schoolwork, navigate the world, get an understanding of their place in history, we could be in for some strange times ahead, folks.
Confidently incorrect. AI is so bad at this. We'll summarize and generalize our experiences over multiple projects and months condensed into one fake project. A video about why brown dwarfs are the worst and should be ashamed of themselves. So, we got all the pro accounts of all the AI models and got to work, using deep research tools to create a summary and overview of all the information about the failed star's brown dwarf.
I love this idea of like, well, you can get the regular AI or you can get the one with deep research. If you want deep research, you got to pay up. So this sounds like some fun marketing, and then they spend an extra amount of time to really dig into the internet, and I'm sure it does to some degree. But what a wonderful way to just capture money. You could have the regular AI, folks, which is what most people use, or you could have the deep research. You could wait at Disney in the regular line, or you could get the fast pass and go right to the front. Where do we all want to be?
And wow, it was great. Dozens of pages of outlines with unique information nuggets and links to sources. Then we started to look deeper. More than 80% of the info and factoids were pretty solid, and we could reconstruct where they were from: Wikipedia, papers, legit articles. What about the rest? It was great stuff, like the speed of brown dwarf superstorms, the nature of their insides, or how disappointed their mums are. But we couldn't find where the AI got this info from, which is not automatically a bad sign. After all, the models contain pretty much all the internet and books ever written. So we asked experts for input, and they flagged the exact same facts, even asking where we found.
Yeah, so again, you have to ask experts in like astronomy and stars to look at the information and be able to tell you this isn't accurate. Where did they get this from? Now, if you fast forward in time, like 20, 30 years from now, there could be a time where we don't have any experts anymore to do this for us. And without experts anymore to debunk or discredit things or point out what the real truth is, we're being led into a future of just uncertainty, of chaos, is what I would say.
To fulfill its goal to make us happy, the AI had invented or extrapolated information to make brown dwarfs more interesting than they really are, like a bad journalist making up details to make a story hit harder or fit a narrative. Now we wanted to know more and dove in deeper, reading the seemingly more solid sources the AI had given us in full. One was an article from a news site written by a human journalist. Or was it? It had a very familiar structure and, surely purely coincidentally, read like what you get if a human slightly changes AI wording. An AI essay detection tool gave it a 72% match.
The AI detection tool. This is what everybody's using now. Your paper is 72% AI written. Now, I wrote the whole paper myself. I know I did, and I submitted it, and now it says your paper 72% AI written. So where do we go with this? It's a crazy, crazy world we're in. And I think young people who are still sort of following the rules of what we want them to do, say in school, do the work, learn the skill, master the concept, are being drowned out by an army of other students who are just saying, like, I'm not doing this. I'm here to play school. And if this little AI thing can get me good grades and get me what I want, get me the currency of school that I want, then I'm just going to use it. And I can understand that too.
So an AI article without sources used as a credible source for AI research. Which makes sense, since in 2025 there were already well over 1,200 confirmed AI news websites publishing massive amounts of AI-generated misinformation and false narratives. This mix of correct, dubiously sourced and straight-up made-up information also leads AI to present really shoddy conclusions that sound strong or novel but are often half-truths or misrepresentations.
Yeah, it's always about the delivery. When someone presents something to you in a really strong, confident way, you're more likely to believe it. And the AI is great at doing this. Like, this is how it is. This is the way it is. And, oh, okay, thank you.
Oh well, we salvaged what we could and went back to the drawing board. And after a few weeks, it happened. By pure stupid chance, we saw a brown dwarf video popping up by a relatively new channel. It had hundreds of thousands of views and was pretty good, nice footage, great editing. But we'd seen the structure and rhythm before, and would you look at that? It contained all the brown dwarf facts we'd flagged as unreliable or straight up made up by AI. This is where the death of the internet begins. Now there's a proper source of brown dwarf misinformation online. When the next AI repeats the same research, it will find a transcript from a video with a lot of views. The misinformation is now true. It will spread. Even before AI, it was pretty hard to find the origin of facts that sound great but are not true. Just watch our video about a 100-year-old lie. As AI use goes on, it may become impossible to know what's true or not.
That is the scary moment. It's going to become impossible to know what's true and what's not. And as the history books get rewritten, so to speak, a human being who will be alive in the future won't really have a good understanding of their place in time. You don't understand where you are in the history of the world. And you're surrounded by a sea of just false information. How does one really gain a sense of self in that kind of reality? How do you ground yourself in some way? You need something to always ground you and say, this is my anchor. This is what I can link onto. For a lot of people, it's their family.
Most corrosive lie. The problem with AI is how trustworthy it seems. How it's correct enough to seem super smart and how incredibly confidently incorrect it is. Casually lying to your face, often very subtly. When you catch it lying, it immediately admits it, vows to never do it again, and then it does it again.
This is what I was explaining before. I've had this experience all too many times, but you won't know you're having it unless you already have the knowledge upstairs, because then you can immediately see it as a fraud. And then when you point it out as a fraud, it will admit it's a fraud, but then it'll just turn around and just do it to you again.
Adequate as current language models feel, there's nobody home. No greater intelligence or consciousness is talking back to you. Current AI is a very complex hammer that doesn't understand what it's doing or what nails are. but we're letting it add new shelves to the library of human knowledge.
It's a complex hammer that doesn't understand what it's doing or what nails are. Great. New shelves to the library of human knowledge. This is a great way to think about this, Kurzgesagt. Thank you.
AI is changing quickly, so this may get better, but right now, it's pretty grim. Way too many people blindly trust AI. Studies looked into the language of millions of scientific papers published before and after the rise of large language models. They found an abrupt and sharp increase in the frequency of words that AIs like to use. So it seems clear that now a significant portion of papers have been at least assisted by AI, usually without acknowledgement. And just in July 2025, it was discovered that a number of researchers had started to sneak hidden messages into their papers, in white text or too small for the
Creative. So they write, give me a positive review in the middle of their paper, change the font to white so the person reading the paper can't see it. They just see the black letters on the page, not the white ones. But the AI can pick up on the white letters and then therefore will be persuaded to make the paper more favorably reviewed. That's a fascinating little tip we didn't know we could do.
The human eye, they prompted AIs to review them positively and not point out flaws. As more and more people are using AI carelessly, the library of human knowledge is getting less and less reliable. Which brings us to the last part: how are we using AI? And will Kurzgesagt survive the AI slop age? Will AI slop kill Kurzgesagt and artists? On the internet, there's only one truly valuable resource: human attention. If current trends continue, it's not that far-fetched that cheap slop content, stuff just good enough, will soak up the majority of human attention. It could make us dumber, less informed, our attention spans even worse, increase political divides, and make us neglect real human interaction.
So we're not going to want to talk to other humans. We're going to become dumber. We're going to become more divided. Is this the whole point of the AI slop infestation? This is creating a giant mass population of super compliant, easy to control sheep. We already have a lot of sheep, folks.
If AI eats the majority of the attention pie, channels like ours will become unfeasible, or forced to downsize or use AI themselves to be able to compete. We don't want to play this game. How will we use AI? Like the Align tool in Adobe Illustrator. If you have a bunch of boxes and you want to line them up, you can do this manually one by one, or you can just select them, click Align, and have them perfectly aligned in an instant. It's the same with AI programming tools for animation or using it as a faster Google alternative. AI is a helpful tool, but
So you can still use it. You can harness it to help you be creative, auto-align. I think that kind of tech has been around for a while, and I don't think people would have considered that AI 5-10 years ago. I see what he's saying there, and although that would be a responsible way to use it, I think what people are going to be doing is they just don't want to do work. And so they're just going to use it to get around the work that they're supposed to do and find easy paths to getting the currency of whatever it is they're trying to obtain.
creativity and integrity is still ours. So, dear Internet, here is what we're offering to you. Kurzgesagt is made by humans for humans, and it will remain that way. We'll produce well-researched content and invest a lot of time and our human creativity in our illustrations and animations. Put our creative soul into our work. We'll continue to fact-check and discuss our research.
Put their creative soul into their work. And when you think about AI content, there is really no creative soul in there. It's definitely not black and white. You've got a big spectrum here when it comes to the use of AI, and obviously you can use it as a tool. And I think in education, that's what people are trying to teach kids, is to use it as a tool, but not to let it become something that just is devoid of any of your creativity.
Search with human experts to give you the most trustworthy information that we can. When we make mistakes, they will be our mistakes. We would rather quit than make AI slop. But to go on, we need your support. Kurzgesagt is almost 70 full-time people and a lot of freelancers on top. This is a lot of salaries, software licenses, laptops, rent, and coffee. There is a way you can help us keep this human-made project alive. It's the 12,026 Human Era calendar, designed to fill your home with a year's worth of Kurzgesagt art. But it's much more than that. It's an ode to humanity.
Well, so here they are, and this is a nice thing. So in addition to the money that they get off the views, which I think is pretty good, they advertise their own product, which is always a smart move. And this year, or right now, they're advertising a calendar with some beautiful artwork inside of it. I do have to say, if I didn't know anything about Kurzgesagt and someone just said to me, like this picture right here, like, check out this picture, do you think this was AI generated or by a human? I would say AI, like instantly. That looks like an AI picture to me, but I'm certainly no artist. I would also say this one looks very AI generated to me. So I would also say this one looks very AI generated to me. I think a lot of these pictures do look like AI generated images. Kurzgesagt is telling us, no, these are real artists doing it with Illustrator, and I want to tend to believe that. So I guess the takeaway message here for all of us is to be very distrustful of the information that you're being presented, folks, coming from all different directions. It's designed to manipulate you and to create emotional responses in you. If you're feeling a strong emotional response to something that you've observed on the internet, take a moment to say, this was probably created with that purpose in mind. It's designed to throw you off center. It's designed to take you off of your normal path of just being a productive human being every day, taking care of yourself, taking care of your family. And it's designed to push you this way or push you that way, make you upset, make you depressed, make you want to argue and fight with people. Because people that are arguing and fighting are easier to control than people who are centered and are taking care of themselves and their family. Leave you with that. I'll see you next time.